Yeah, we're back. We're back for another episode of Meetusinthetrenches. And so this week, I'm without my co-host, Coach Tan, and you know, she made me take notes this week, so I had to take my notes this week. So we had our bi-weekly, off-weekly meeting on the other Monday, and I told the cast that how I felt about them and that I love them, and Tone from Tone Drone Productions, the manager, he said, well, love don't get the job done. So that's just a microcosm of how serious we are in doing this podcast. So, often imitated but never duplicated. So we get it done doing this podcast. So I'm dolo solo tonight without Tan, and much love, Tan, and my condolences to the family. I know you in Georgia somewhere and doing what you do. But I also wanted to talk about, Tan, hit me up about TikTok. They say TikTok was shut down for a couple hours, so I know you're a real big TikTok fan, and let me know what you thought about it, Tan, in the comments. Yeah, and it's back up now. So I heard I saw a lot of posts today about it being down and being back up again. So, but shout out to our sponsors, it's Tone Drone Productions, Brainstream Media, Moe's Seafood, and Play It Again Sports Timonium. Black Fact Today, right? So Black Fact Today is just it is what it is. It's Martin Luther King Day. It's the inauguration of Mr. Trump today, and they shut down the outside inauguration because they said it was so cold, so they kind of like doing it indoors. But I wanted to pose a question about what we thought about what Snoop said in 2016, opposed to what he said. Or opposed to what he's doing now, because he said that he wouldn't perform for the President Trump at that particular time, but now he was doing his show and he was his own DJ. So in your thoughts, I would like to know in the comment section what you thought about that, and I thought that was rather interesting. But shout out to Martin Luther King Jr., who fought and died for some of our freedoms. So big shout out to him. But on a positive note, we got a national championship tonight. We got the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So you can comment in the comment section and who you think gonna win that game. Of course, I'm a big Michigan fan, so I could care less about Ohio State. But I want Notre Dame to take them down. I think they could do it with a nice run game. They can get it done if they stick to the run. Because like we said, Michigan, we think they soft anyway, but it is what it is. Should be a great game, though. Looking forward to it in about probably another hour or so. That'll be kicked off. Also want to comment on the Ravens loss, right? We ain't going to talk too much on it because, we got a lot of hurt feelings out here, man. That was a tough one. And Mark Andrews dropping the ball to put us in overtime, that was pretty tough, man. And, I saw somewhere where somebody said he's under investigation. He's under investigation for the drop, right? I don't know if that's true or where they'll go with that, but, they blaming it on Vegas, y'all. So tell me what you think about that, and but, they can't blame that on Lamar. It is what it is. So we got the AFC Championship. We got the Chiefs versus the Bills. Tell me what you think about that. I think the Bills can get them if they don't cheat for the Chiefs. Especially if Taylor Swift is in the audience. She got her own little section with the basketball chick. I forget her name, but they got their own little cheering section going on in there. Then we got the NFC Championship. We got the Eagles and the Commanders. And I tell you what, that Commanders team is tough, man, and their receivers are really hard to defend, man. They run the ball pretty good, and they fly around on defense, man. They really fly around defensively. Got a lot of young guys on the defense, and one of my favorites is Mikey Sandrisdale, one of the nickelback on the team, former Michigan guy. He's a small guy, but he really gets it done. And I really like their defensive line. They really get after it. And Jonathan Allen, one of their defensive linemen, I worked for him in the summertime with Sports International. He's a great guy, too, but he's a no-nonsense guy. He likes to get after it. So that should be interesting. But, we'll come back. We'll come back with the we got OTG on next show. I think we got the coaches first for Old Town Gators 11U, and after the coaches, then we'll have the parents actually. Then after the parents, then we'll come back with the kids. So we want to ask them some questions. They're the Florida National Championship team, and again, we're going into our second session, but just another shout out to our sponsors is Tone Drone Production, Brainstream Media, Moe's Seafood, and Play It Again Sports. Timonium, hey Tan, I know you watching. I miss you. Get your butt back here.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
welcome back. So it's the I always tell Tan that's not the Mace version. It's the welcome back Carter version. And she always say it's the Mace version, but we ain't going down like that. Anyway, we got Coach Brian Miles from Old Town Gators 11U. Now we go back a long way, man. We go back a long way, right? Quick story, 1995. I was coaching in Lillian Jones, and Brown was playing for the Northeast Chargers at the time, wide receiver. And he was on the scouting report because he was definitely tough to stop. And they beat us, and that was the first year that the city team was able to go into the Pop Warner playoffs at the time. So they beat us, man, and Brian never lets me live that down. Coach Tavon and I think Kev caught the interception to seal the game at the end of the game. But Coach, tell me, what's been your best experience as a coach?
Just most importantly, the relationship I have with the young folks, seeing the results, things of that nature. Sorry about that. Just building relationships and, and helping these young men out become better men versus just better athletes. Everything we do at Old Town is based off, building better men. Coach Tavon, who is also our president, he always got a saying that I don't care about you being a football player, I care about you being a great man.
Yeah.
So, that's something that we, I love doing. I feel like this is purpose. I didn't choose coaching chose me.
Oh.
So, just seeing the results of these kids. I think now my first batch of kids at the oldest is our sophomores in college right now. So, just seeing the results of that and, making an impact on these young men's lives, especially coming from where we come from, it's just, I grow addicted to it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So what does the 50 boys, I know that's your mantra, what does the 50 boys, what does that stand for?
Be honest with you, that's something you might want to ask the young boys. They came up with the name 50 Boys. I know where they got it from.
Right.
They big on acronyms right now.
Okay.
You could be Old Town, but, everybody big on acronyms and big names. Nicknames right now. So,
Yeah.
The reference, BMF was hot at the time. It was a certain point in time, for the most part, we was averaging 50 points a game. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
They was, they went with the name. I kind of let them,
Choose.
create that part of it, choose that, because this that era, this that time, coming, I was coached by guys like you and Coach Larry, so that ain't, the name don't mean nothing if you ain't performing on the football field. So, I let them run with that. That's something, they probably can give you more details with. But, to me, we Old Town Gators, baby, 1978.
Ooh, yeah. I got a story about that too. But how long you been with this group?
So, I particularly been with this group since they were 9U. We're transitioning to our 12U year. My first year down there, I joined Coach Marvin with the 11U. Those guys are, freshmen in high school right now, like Mumu down Dunbar, Colin down Dunbar, things of that nature. It was that group. So after that year, Coach Thomas was previously at 9U, the head coach. That 12U year, I kind of was in limbo trying to, my first year down the program, trying to figure out what it is, my role is and what I'm going to do. So Coach Thomas came to me. Shout out to Coach Thomas, too, because he's like the pillar to this success right here. Like, he's the one who started this thing for us. We just try to finish it for him. But he's the one who pulled me up. We had, previous relationship with him being at Middle River, me being at Prairie Hall. And it kind of was like when we was in that state run, you had the entire Middle River team, and then you had an age group above us, and then you had us. So we kind of was like filling in for the age group that they didn't have. Mm-hmm. So I built a relationship with Thomas, and that's how I ended up with this group. And even when Thomas left, going to high school, I just stayed with this group because, I built a relationship with parents, I built a relationship with kids. So, I'm not one that's just going to turn my back for selfishly. And they wanted me here, so I stayed.
Yeah, man. This show is not really long enough for me to be talking to you because, we got some history. But I just want to say, like, coaches going against you, man, I feel for them. I mean, because you kind of out of that gun tee, wing tee, gap scheme thing, right? So, it took people 10 years to learn how to defeat Larry. Coach Mitchell. Shout out to Coach Larry Mitchell, who's one of the best in Baltimore, hands
Go Larry,
down.
Go
But
Larry, go Larry. Go
yeah,
Sid, by the way, too.
So just that's tough. I'm talking about going against you. I mean, because I know your pedigree. So let's just jump right, because that's a nice segue to my next question. And who are your mentors and your inspiration into doing what you do?
Well, I got three particular guys. You being one. You know what I always say to you.
Yes.
The best to do what you do. Coach Larry Mitchell and Coach Herb from North
Oh.
You know, like between you three guys growing up, like y'all was like the pedestal of what a coach was, you know, growing up. So it was like I attracted to that, you know, especially being under Coach Larry. I knew Coach Larry before the football thing, like just being in the neighborhood and you know, so his reputation was a little bit different from, you know, coaching.
Right.
But once, you know, he grabbed me up. You know, shout out to Dante Lofton, because he's actually the guy who introduced me to Coach Larry, who brought me down there to play for him. You know, once I met Coach Larry, it's just been a thing. But it's been something that he's embedded in my mindset since day one. You know, and then once I got back into it, it was second nature for me to fall back and you know, mimic the guys who I admired and learned from.
So this Florida run, right? Was this your first Florida run with this team?
This was my first Florida run, period. Before Old Town, I was at Perry Hall. So, you know, the most we had was the All-Pro tournament state. So after states, you know, we was done. So, you know, this year was a first-time experience for me and a lot of my guys, too. I had a few guys that had, you know, Florida experience before me, but this was my first run, and I must say, probably the best time I had, you know, coaching, because you got to see all this different talent, different schemes, different styles of play of football. You know, and, you know, football is a game of adjustment. So, you know, every play was an adjustment down there, man. It was awesome, man. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, that was going to lead into my next question. So when you got, I mean, because Larry used to always say, I never forget, he said, when you play teams like that, if they are who they are, and they're going to be where they're going to be. So if you're playing a 4-3 team, they're going to be in a 4-3, right? Like some teams you get, where we from, they so unorthodox, you'd be like, well, what is that?
Exactly.
Like, what is it? So tell me your experience down there and going against them guys down there. What was that like?
Well, I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but one thing I noticed when we was down in Florida was the game was coached from the trenches on back. I feel as though sometimes in Baltimore we get lost in the trench work, you know, the O-line. You know, I feel as though football don't work without your O-line. My top five gotta be the guys. My top five is, you know, my tackles, my guards, and my center. So, you know, watching the game being coached from the line on back was, like, intriguing to me, because, like, I felt like now I was going to find out if I'm really a good coach, or do I just have the good kids and just, you know, succeed every year. But, nah, man, the game was coached from the trenches on back. I mean, the team that we lost to, Powerhouse, Elite, shout out to them. They from VA. They ended up winning the national championship. They bumped Secret Society first, then they bumped us. Everybody on their team, you can tell everybody on their team understood their role.
Yeah.
Their guys were their guys, you know, and they just rallied around each other, and they coached that. They beat us in the trenches. You know, it was a tough fought game. We lost 19-7. We had to lead 7-6 into the halftime, but they came out special teams, made a play, and then from there on, they just put the ball in their guy, number 3. I wish I knew the kid's name, because he was special, man. Mm-hmm. And, you know, went on from that. But, like, just being able to see Ted Ginn and his program, program from Atlanta by the name of River Boys. We faced a team from Nevada. It was a team from Oakland. So just to see different styles and see how the styles match up. You know, you knew that when you seen Powerhouse, if you didn't meet them in the trenches, it was going to be a long day for you, brother, because, man, they was tough up front, man.
So how did Baltimore match up with those teams from down there? Because normally they have an issue with trench work, and that's why I'm so hard pressed on getting the youth, you know, level kind of better with, you know, the line play, whether it be defensively or offensively. I'm an offensive line guy, but I try to just teach what I could teach, because I've heard that when we get out of town, speaking about Baltimore, that, you know, we have trouble doing the line play. So elaborate on that for me a little bit.
One thing I will say is I think the teams that were down there, if you start at 13U with the Rosedale Cowboys with Lakeith, the whole West Baltimore program that they had down there, I think they had 12s and 10s at the D1 level. You had the Westport team, you had Secret Society, 10U and 9U. I think all of them, kind of showed that the trenches is where you start at. So, all those guys, if you look at those teams, if you look at Coach Q with the 10U and Dennis, if you look at the Secret Society 9U, you look at Westport 9U, you look at West Baltimore 10U, you look at West Baltimore 12U, you look at Rosedale Cowboys 13U. All of it started in the trenches, and that's how all of us was able to compete down there. I mean, every last one of us competed all the way to the last round. So, it wasn't none of us went down there and was pushovers. And I honestly think that it started because a lot of those teams start their program from the trenches on back.
Thank you.
We get lost in the trenches because we get caught up in, the athleticism of the game of football. But,
right.
I mean, you're not winning the game without those 5 up front.
Right. And, we should be recruiting inside out. You know what I'm saying? Them skilled guys come a dime a dozen, but get some of them chubby guys out there and let's play some football. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what advice would you have for guys coming to play for OTG, man? Where we at with that? Like, now we recruiting for OTG. Like, what advice would you have for the guys and the parents?
Like I quoted Coach, our president, Tavon Williams, from the beginning. Our main goal is to focus on building men versus football players. I mean, we are very aware of the atmosphere that we are coaching in and where our kids come from. They face with a lot of adversity the minute they step outside their house. So, teaching the lessons of, just becoming a young man, understanding right from wrong, something that I think this generation lacks, which is entitlement. Acknowledging your mistakes, understanding, that you made your mistakes and learning from your mistakes, but not only learning from your mistakes, learning from other mistakes, and just understanding that we are a family-oriented program. We used to be a free program for a long time, but unfortunately, with free, people see that as exactly what it is, free. Mm-hmm. So, come from losing equipment and losing things of that nature, you kind of had to, get away from that, but a lot of things that I noticed with that brotherhood down there between Bubba, Tavon, Jammer, Maurice, which is our 4 founders, not founders, but to me, they right now for this generation, they are the guys that represents the Old Town. It's about the community and it's about the family. If you're not about Old Town, if you're not about the community, you're not about the family, then I suggest you don't even come down there because no one man is bigger than the program.
True. And I'm going to tell you, man, shout out to, put this in parentheses, but shout out to Coach Huggy, Coach T, my man Coach Ducky, and my cousin Coach Sardi, man. Like, they them old OGs. You know what I'm saying? I know they still around. Is Coach Sardi and them, they still around?
They still around. Even T, they make sure they communicate with T. Like I said, I don't have a personal relationship with them.
Yeah.
I'm a newcomer to the Old Town community. So, like, those are the names I hear all the time. So, like, it's still there. And I think from what I'm seeing, what I experienced the last 4 or 5 years being down there, the 4 guys that I name is doing a darn good job, running the program.
Hey, I'm going to tell you a quick story, right? I know we got to wrap it up, but when I first started the Sandtown program, I had this Sandtown varsity jacket, and, West Side and East Side used to beef when it came to football a lot, right? So when I got my Sandtown jacket and my cousin Sardi, people just didn't know that we was related, so he invited me to their party that they had at the beginning of the year, right? So I said, you know what, I'm gonna wear my Sandtown jacket to the party, right? But I wanted everybody to know at that particular time that it wasn't no beef with me, because that's family, and then I'm from East Baltimore. So just because I was at Sandtown didn't mean we couldn't show no love to Old Town. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was at the party with my jacket on, man. I had a good time, too. They showed me much love, and I love them guys. Shout out to them. And, but we're going to start our second with the kids, and we're going to get them up next. But, again, shout out to the sponsors, Tone Drone Productions, Brainstream Media, Moe's Seafood, and Play It Again Sports, Timonium. All right, so we'll be back with the Old Town Gators kids, the players, next session. We'll be right back.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
Okay, welcome back. Hey, Tan, I know you're watching. This is the Welcome Back Carter version, not the Mace version. Welcome back. But anyway, we back with OTG 11U. So we got the kids up here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hand them the mic and tell us your name, what position you play. Everybody got it? We know your name and what position you play. Here we go.
My name is Kobe. I play wide receiver and corner.
My name is Isaiah. I play offensive guard and defensive tackle.
My name is Khalil. I play wide receiver and corner.
My name is Braylon. I play receiver.
My name is Kai. I play running back and DB.
QB.
Fullback.
So you play fullback, you play guard, and you play defensive line. And, get him the mic. He got 55 on. He got to play my position. He got to play position I coach.
I play offensive tackle and defensive nose guard.
Oh yeah, you in them trenches. You in them trenches. But look, does football teach you anything about life? Explain that to me. We're gonna start with you right here, number one. What does football teach you about life? Tell me that.
You got to have good grades to play football and be a good man.
I'm going to echo that same question to you. What does football teach you about life?
To be confident.
Same for you. What does football teach you about life?
To be disciplined and
I like that.
to be confident.
Disciplined and confident. I like that.
How to control your anger. And
Harness your anger. Yeah, you harness that anger. Yeah. What about you?
Have heart and be brave.
He say have fun and be brave. Okay. So what's your GPA? You right there. What's your GPA?
4.0.
4.0.
I don't know.
You don't know what your GPA is?
I got it.
You got A's or B's?
Yeah.
Which one?
B, like
You got
both.
B's, you got to be honest about it. What's your GPA?
3.0.
3.0, that's good. What's your,
I got 3.5.
what position you said you play? Well, you look like Jaden Daniels, you know that? They call you that? Jaden Daniels. They probably call you that, don't they? They don't call you that? You look just like him, man. But look, I just wanted to say, man, congratulations on the Florida run. And I want to know, was this your first Florida trip? And how did you like this first Florida trip? How did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy that Florida run?
Yeah, it's like I enjoyed it. I love like the competition that we had because it's not the same that like we had in our city.
It wasn't the same competition. It was a little thick, right? It was tough, huh? I bet. Tell me a little bit about that Florida trip.
We had better competition. We did better and we learned more than we learned in Baltimore, that we competed with better teams and stuff.
You know, you speak well, man. You're very articulate. You know that? You speak real good. Tell me about that Florida trip, big fella.
It was a lot of competition, and it made us learn, and yeah.
So your expectations for next year will be much greater because of the competition that you face, right? Right? So explain to me about the Florida trip. What you think?
It was fun. We didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish, but we had fun.
Okay. That's most importantly, having fun.
It was very fun. It was very fun, but I feel like we gotta get better and go back next year and win the Natty.
Yeah. So that means your expectations got to be better for next year. Guess what? Academically and athletically, right? So that means your grades got to be good, and you got to come to practice. Can't skip practice. You got to be there because you got to remember that feeling that you had when you didn't succeed in what you was trying to succeed down there. So that means the next time you go down there, it's got to be better. You got to beat them teams that beat you, right? That's right? All right, tell me what.
It was fun and competitive, but it was mostly fun.
So the experience of getting out of Baltimore, right? How was that experience just going down there? I mean, outside of football. We're not talking about football, right? Your camaraderie with your teammates. You know, your guys going, I know you probably guys went down there and went swimming, and you saw some girls down there and stuff. Why you laughing? Why you laughing? Well, I know you look like you. You know what I mean? You saw some, you got that fresh shape up. I know you was booking them down there, wasn't you? Yeah. So tell me about off the field, how was your experience down there? I want to know when you shape up. Yeah, tell me about that. Let me see. Give it.
Like, it was fun, but like.
Hold up.
I
First of
don't
all, you
know.
got your jersey on? Okay. Go ahead.
Like, it wasn't really no difference.
Okay.
It was just fun and competitive.
Okay. So you telling me that Coach B had y'all working down there? Tell me about that Florida trip. Commanders quarterback.
Like the Florida trip, I say like outside of the football, it was tough, but it was fun because it's like we was in a house playing, we was in a pool, and then it's like the tough part about it was practice. It was hot. We wasn't used to the heat like that.
Okay, you are articulate, man. You speak well. So tell me about that Florida trip, man. I ain't talking about football either.
It was good. We had fun, and we were stressing a little bit because we all wanted to win.
It was cool. At the end of the week, we went to Sky Zone and shared some moments.
So you say you went to Sky Zone and shared some moments. So that's good. That's that camaraderie off the field. But see, what's going to happen is going to make you a better teammate for next year coming. And see, the thing about it, that experience, man, you can't beat that. And I'm going to tell you, that leads to my next question, right? So what do you appreciate most about your coaches, right? Because they took you to Florida, and I know Coach B, because guess what? I coached against him when he was your age. They beat me in the championship. He will never let me lay that down either, right? And this was back in 1995. Y'all wasn't even thought about yet. But tell me, what do you admire about your coaches? What do you appreciate most about your coaches, right? And go in depth with it, because he means that much to you. Understand? So tell me what it is that you admire about your coach.
Something that I admire about Coach B is he teaches how to be men. Like, he teaches us life lessons and like stuff outside of football. Like, he's not just a football coach.
What I appreciate about my coach is that he work us hard and he get us prepared for the big games.
I appreciate all my coaches because we work hard, they work us hard, and yeah. And they even help us be a good man, not only outside of football, mostly football.
Mostly football. It's the life lessons, right? Yeah, and if you know like Coach B, he'll come around your house, come up your school. I know he been to the school. He'll probably meet you at school. Don't get it twisted now. He come to the school. What you say? What you appreciate about Coach B, man?
What I appreciate about Coach B, he teaches us how to be a man
What else? What else?
and be great people in life.
That's right. That's right.
What I appreciate about Coach B, he teaches us there's another way other than football. Like you could do other things.
That's right. That's right.
They push us to be great off the field and on the field.
So what are them other things, big fella? Tell me, explain to me a little bit more, elaborate on some of them other things.
Like you can be like a lawyer. You can be like smart. Like you don't have to
Smart,
always
smart,
just
that's
like
right.
play football because you
That's
gotta
right.
be smart to play ball.
That's
So
right.
you can like do other things.
That's right. I'm gonna tell you something, right? My son plays center for Mount St. Joe. He's been playing football since he was a baby, right? And one thing we never talk about is the NFL. Like we don't even really watch it. Well, he don't. I watch it. It put me to sleep, but I watch it. I'm a real big college fan. So I tell my son all the time, I said, we ain't thinking about no NFL. We thinking about getting a college education, right? So look, you want to learn this game now, and when you get to high school, to put you in college. Let this game pay for you to go to college. I'm telling you, let this game pay for you to go to college. Don't even think about the NFL. So when you get to college, if the NFL come knocking, then boom, there it is. But we trying to go to school. We trying to get a free college education. I'm telling you, that's what we trying to get. So the NFL stuff, later for that. Let's get this. Well, what is it? What is it now? Like 90,000 for how many years? So now it's like 300,000 for a college education. Gonna be when y'all get there, everybody like 400,000. So let's get this 400K. Let's get that. So think about that, right? So you know when them dudes had that signing day, like, and they be up there and they signing 400K. That's what they signing to go to school. They signing to go to college. That's gonna be the biggest day of your life, not the NFL. But them dreams, man, they you know, I'm not saying they don't come, but they few and far in between. But we trying to go to school. That's like right there. You could touch college. You know what I'm saying? You could touch it. You understand what I mean by that? So I'm about to ask you this question. What we trying to do when we finish high school? What we trying to do? I just gave you the cheat sheet. What we trying to do?
When we finish high school, have good grades, be a good man, and don't think about the NFL. Think about life and college.
At the high school, like, what we're going to focus on is grades because even if you're not like that in football, you still can go to school for free with your grades.
Right. And I know you want to go to college because there's a lot of girls in college, man. It's a lot of girls in college. You want to go to college, man, I'm telling you. It's a lot of girls. What you want to do after high school?
Go to college, get good grades because the coach is going to be more stricter.
Yeah, they will be. They will be. They're going to be tough, but what you learn now help you get through college, help you get through high school, and help you get through college. You understand? OTG has a reputation of great high school kids that's doing real good in high school. So you on your way just by playing for them because he's one of the best coaches in Baltimore City, hands down. So what you going to do after high school? I just gave you the cheat sheet. You just tell me.
Go to college, get another degree.
That's right. That's right. So we're gonna come back with the our next session. But again, shout out to our sponsors. But let me see them rings real quick. Let me see them rings, man. Let me see them rings. Put them rings on the table. Man, this is what you get now at the Nationals in Florida. This is unbelievable right here, man. This is crazy bling right here. And they heavy. God, dog. Look at that. That's big right there. That's what we do now. That's when you go to Florida and you have a great year, you be successful on and off the field, right? In the classroom, in the community, That's what you get right there. That's a lot of hard work and dedication. Hey, OTG, I love you guys, man, and I'm gonna come see you guys play next year. And I wish the best. And I'm telling you, right, 50 boys. And I'm telling you, listen, you gotta prepare now to beat the teams that you lost to in the national. You understand? And guess when it start? It start right now. You understand me? You understand? Any last words, Coach B?
Nah, man, just one thing you gotta understand, if your child come play for me, regardless of where I'm at, the first thing we're gonna preach is the student over the athlete. A lot of us youth coaches get caught up in the athletic part of this thing, and we forget the student part. You notice these guys, that's the one thing they spoke about, because we preach that in practice first. You know, proper preparation prevents piss poor performances on and off the field, you know, so can't be an athlete without being a student first. Big shout out to Rob Gaines, man, because he's the one that made this possible for us. He's the one who laced us with this.
Oh, Coach
You feel what I'm saying? So
Coach
shout out to
Gaines.
Rob Gaines. My guy dealt with a lot of
Shout out to my guy,
backlash,
Coach
you know,
Gaines.
dealing with what he dealt with. But that's a good man right there, you know. Always look out for me, always communicate with me. And I think, you know, to me, we had the best league range this year. So shout out to Rob Gaines for this.
Shout
right
out to
here.
Coach Gaines. He made the Lineman of the Year award after me. He put it in my name, man. He told me he was going to do that, man. I cried like a baby, man. I really did, man. I ain't ashamed to say it, man. Man, that was tough, man. But shout out to our sponsors, Tone Drone Productions, Brainstream Media, Moe's Seafood, and Play It Again Sports, and Timonium. So we'll be right back in a couple minutes.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
Welcome back. It's the, not the Mace version, the Welcome Back Carter version. And Tan, you better get your butt back here next week. You know, what I mean, I miss you. You had me taking notes this week. You take notes. I don't take no notes. But anyway, we're back. We got Miss Shaw, which is the team mom of OTG 11U, and they say she's pretty tough. And we got Miss Taylor, who's Big Uber, Isaiah's mom, right? And so we just want to ask the team momager, like what's her role and how she keep these boys in check and some other things. So tell me, what do you do that we got to keep these boys in check, the paperwork? Just explain to people how tough the team momager job is.
You put me on the spot, huh? I want to say, first and foremost, we have a very great group of, great group of kids. Our boys are phenomenal in my book. They don't give us a lot of trouble. We try to keep our, ears to the street to make sure we know what's going on with them. And I think by me having a dual role and having a child on the team as well, makes it a little more, easier for me to be able to pay attention and know what's going on. But wouldn't be able to do that without Coach B. He's another vital role, I think, that he plays in their lives on and off the field. But we have a great group of kids for the most part. They don't give us trouble. Not hard to keep them in line. Something goes wrong in school, we hit the field with the coaches. We ain't the type of team to tell them, oh, don't bring them to practice. They punish. No, you punish, come to practice. Because we make them face their coaches. So they definitely are held accountable.
Yeah, I remember, before we get to Miss Taylor real quick, I remember Coach Herb always used to say, don't use football as a punishment tool for my team, right? And he would always say, if they failing in school, then you already knew they was a knucklehead before they went to school, because don't nobody know your son like you do. So at the middle of the first quarter if he's going to be failing. So don't take him off the team because he's failing, right? Let me deal with it. So I want to ask Ms. Taylor is, what do you appreciate most about your son being involved in the game of football? What do you appreciate about your son? Yeah, you see the green, yeah. Check.
Oh, there we go. Hold on.
I appreciate all the coaches, the staffs. It's more like a family-oriented community. My son has been playing since 8U, so we've been with them for a long time. I love it, especially Coach B. I like the coaches, but I love Coach B because I just feel like out of everyone, he shows up the most for the kids. Like anything, if it's something to do with football, if extra stuff, like he let the parents know, like now, like he's the only coach here, other than our team mom, Miss Shaw. Yeah. But I love it. And like you were just talking about the punishment, if they in bed in school or something, like I like that. If I have a problem with Isaiah, I can let his coaches know. And they might make him do run, push-ups, anything, but he's going to practice. Yeah.
So, Michelle, tell me the same. I want to ask you the same question, right? What do you appreciate most about your son being involved in the game of football?
I would say that I appreciate the most that he's able to build brotherhood and a bond, because one thing about it is they walk the halls in their schools. They know who they play for. They know that they're a part of OTG. And you got your different organizations out here and things of that sort, but it's something different down the swamp. And with that being said, it's like Taylor said, a family. They build that bond from day one. And even though some may leave for various reasons, they always come back. And they keep that amongst themselves, regardless of where they are in their lives. So that's what I appreciate the most.
Okay. So Ms. Taylor, tell me about City Hall. Tell me about y'all visit City Hall after the Florida trip. How was that?
I I loved it. I really did. I love anything that I feel like bring attention to the boys because they deserve it. I feel like we have a very amazing team of guys. You know, they kids, so they might tense up at time, but I love that they got the chance to go to City Hall and, you know, just be acknowledged. Like, they deserve it. And, you know, people might think, oh, they kids, so they don't really look at or matter about things like that, but they do. You know, so them being acknowledged, I think really made them happy, you know, more than us parents, because they the ones out here that's doing the hard work, playing, you know, showing up for practice even when they don't feel like it and still working. You know, games, even if they tired, they still play, you know, and they play their best. So I love the whole City Hall experience. I look forward to doing it again this year. We are going to be there again.
I'm going to echo the same question to Ms. Shaw. Tell me what about that City Hall experience.
I think it was a great experience for them to be able to see our local councilmen, councilwomen that really play a part in the everyday life of what goes on in the city, making the laws and things of that sort. And they may not always know, you know, per se, more than what they just see on TV. Being able to put a face with a name and shake those, you know, individuals' hands and things of that sort. So I think that was a great experience for them. Also for those in those offices to see us and to see our kids and see that these are our future leaders of the city, and, you know, for them to be able to make those different types of connections and relationships early on.
So when you went to City Hall, was you able to kind of converse with any politicians there? Was you able to converse with them, or no? Or was it just, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me some of the things that you talked about. I want to know that.
So Robert Stokes was the councilman in our area of where we practice at the swamp, and he has been very gracious to be able to help and assist us with different donations and other councilmen, you know, within the city. Also getting us lights and things like that for the practice field because it's very dark. And, you know, we practice out there, you know, when it gets late, it's not summer, it's in the winter, it's getting dark really quick. So we did get the opportunity to speak with them, let them know some of our needs and things like that.
So my last question is the Florida trip. Like, how was that trip? Coach B laughing. How was that trip? And I know you had a lot of work to do during that trip. So explain to me real quick. And we're gonna start with Ms. Shaw, and then I'll come back to you, Ms. Taylor, so you can tell me about that trip. So tell me, Ms. Shaw, what did your job duties entail during that trip? And personally, I mean, like, what did you do outside of football during that trip?
So, not only am I the team, I still have a family back home that has to keep running. So it was difficult, but we made it happen. Personally, outside of football, I still had to work. I would telework from home, so I took my laptop on the road with me. A couple of days, they ain't see me. They wanted to know where I was at. I was bogged down with a headset on and typing away, you know, doing my full-time duty. So outside of that, you know, calling around, y'all need this, y'all need that, did y'all go to the store, you know, they gotta eat. Did y'all take a bath, y'all take a shower, you know, that type of stuff. You know, stuff that they ain't worried about, that little mom stuff. But we had a lot of great parents that did get the opportunity to accompany their kids down to Florida, which made my life a lot easier than what it normally would have been. It's a difference in having 25 to 30 12-year-olds, 11, 12-year-olds at one time. So their parents coming really made a difference, and also the coaches, because we wouldn't have been able to do it without the coaches.
So, Ms. Taylor, tell me your experience down in Florida, and then we can wrap it up.
I ain't go. I set this one out.
You shot this one out?
Yeah, so while they was playing football, I was moving, so I was still working.
Oh, you still working?
But yes, I set this one out.
Yeah. So, shout out to OTG, man, and you know, I love when we got the young guys on here, because that's our future, and I love to see those young guys kind of prosper in the game and maybe take it to the next level. And most of the time, you get to see them guys see them guys play on Saturdays. But Coach B, how can you be reached through like Facebook, Twitter? How can you be reached?
Well, you talking as far as social media?
Yeah.
Social media, if you don't, I don't have, all the TikTok stuff like that, but I do have Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is Brian, Coach B Miles. Instagram is Coach_B_OTG. And then you can also reach us on our team page at Old Town Football _50 Boys, 12U.
Nice. When they said we was gonna do the show, man, and we said to get Coach B, I kind of I said, yeah, that's a great guy, because I know him. We go way back. So, I just want to let you know I love you, man, and I'm proud of what you're doing, and keep doing it, man. I just didn't like that touchdown you scored against us back in 1995, and we lost the daggone game, but it's all good. But the game before then, we had to play Carmelo Anthony and them at Mount Royal. People don't know he played football too. But so shout out to our sponsors: Tone Drone Productions, Brainstream Media, Moe's Seafood, them big crab cakes out there, man. I'm telling you, they hitting. And the seafood salad sandwich, boy, you need 2 people to eat that thing. And Play It Against Sports in Timonium. Play It Against Sports in Timonium. And that's gonna wrap it up with Meet Us in the Trenches. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Shout out to the staff. You want to shout them out? Shout them out real quick, Coach.
I just want to give a big shout out to Coach Kev out here, Honcho, man. He came a long way, being able to put those trophies in his hands for the first time, winning his first championship, not only 1 but 3 in 1 year. That felt good. Shout out to George Travis, who's also the wide receiver and assistant offensive coordinator at Concordia Prep, who stepped down and helped us out a lot. Shout out to Coach Twin, who stepped out on the football field. At the last minute, him and Coach Jody were supposed to have been on another team, but things didn't work out, so they stepped straight over to our staff to help us out. Shout out to Coach Tavon, who always got our back, who always there for us. And big shout out to Coach Brody. He was a kid who, at that age, should have been playing football for us, but he didn't feel his confidence enough to step out there on the football field. So, he picked up the clipboard and the whistle. So shout out to Coach Brody, man, and the entire staff down for the now 12U Old Town Gators, man.
Shout out to OTG, man.
Oh, one more. And shout out to Miss Lisa, who was our previous team mom. She stepped down, and she's also our film lady. And let me tell you, she made life so much great for us, so much better for us, because that film don't lie, the honest God don't lie, and she was able to get us great footage all year. So shout out to Miss Lisa as well.
Shout out to OTG again, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll Meet Us in the Trenches. Peace.